if one look at the African who had been under the genocide of the transatlantic slave trade, the genocide of 500 years of chattel enslavement in the Americas, when you look at that kind of abuse where you no longer had control of your body, someone can rape you at will, men or women, you can be abused at will by people who were lesser beings than you physically, but because you had chains on your ankles and a gun at your head. And yet, you can come out of that with a humanity that makes their version of humanity pale. And that's throughout our history in this hemisphere. And yet, in one generation, we can produce writers and artists and artisans and doctors and lawyers and engineers that can compete with anyone they have. One generation with opportunity and freedom to demonstrate our possibilities. No one can compete with us. And so the African in the Western world, if you look at our literature, if you look at our production capability in terms of helping to construct society, if you look at our role in government in producing laws that was good for humanity, if you look at the educational system and look at our production and how to better train human beings to be better human beings, no one can compete with the African American, despite the crisis they were forced into. You know, we are the universe. Everyone knows that. You know, if you just look at us in sports, no one can compete with us on a level playing field where we don't come out victorious, equal to or better than anybody on that playing field in any art form that's presented. You know, in the classroom, let me into Harvard, let me into Princeton, I can compete with anybody you've let into Harvard and Princeton, or Oxford, or the Levant. So the African American and the African worldwide, and I don't like to even use the adjectives when we talk about world African, we're just talking about African peoples. And when you look at colonialism and the genocidal damage it had on the continent of Africa and the populations of our people on the continent of Africa and the resilience of that population in responding against that type of human deprivation,